Welcome back to Earth and Star Spiritual Wellness Center, and this is our Quickfire Channeling Round 2. Say hello, Erin.
Hey, everybody.
So, for those of you who missed round 1, basically what we're doing with our Quickfire Channeling is we're going to grab a deck, we're going to pull whatever card comes out, and we are going to channel as quickly as possible what the collective or you personally watching this need to hear about that card, whatever message is coming through. Now, of course, since it's me and Erin, there has to be a winner, right? In fact, I think I've only talked to Erin one time since our last fight. And I think that we decided you won the last one. Did we decide that?
I don't know. I think the collective decided otherwise.
Okay, well, you won last time, I think. Okay, so Erin's up 1.
All right.
What deck are you using?
My Sacred Rebels.
Your Sacred what?
Sacred Rebels.
Rebels? Oh my lord! I love it. I'm going back to my classical Alberto Violdo deck with the Mystical Shaman Oracle.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yes. I just feel like we're going on back. All right, so you won. So we're going to let you draw first and hold it up. And I'm going to beat you. I'm going to beat your arse.
All right, let's see what we got here. I can't pull. I have to let it fall. That's just how I do. She speaks when she speaks.
So you guys go ahead and throw your intentions on it.
I was about to say that just like all wanted to come out. I'm like, okay, hold on. Let's keep it a little simple. You know, maybe 1 or 2. All right.
Let me see. Read it out loud.
Come to life.
Okay, so immediately I have Evanescence in my brain. Bring me to life. Yes, Evanescence is in my brain immediately. And what I feel is that there's a lot of womb energy around this one, but not because of specifically feminine things, but because of past woundings. And when we go through past woundings, a lot of that sits in our divine feminine space. And it's our divine masculine's job to protect or to observe the thing that hurt us and keep it from happening again in the future. And that's what I see this is. It's like the healing of those wounds, the feminine that's been held in and taken advantage of, getting to heal and rise above that. And I feel like we are doing that on a collective level as well as an internal, personal level.
Yeah. I like where you went with that, because my first thought was like the coming to life after the healing. So like you said, the womb space, I was thinking of like your birth. You know, you've dove into those spaces and, you know, started that healing process. And this is that rebirth, that coming back to life. Like it's kind of hard to see because it's mostly grayscale, but right there's a little bit of color and like the paintbrush. So it's like it's bringing back the color and the vibrancy and just reawakening.
Reawakening. I like that word.
Yeah.
Okay. Good job. Whoever needs to be reawakened and brought back to life, that's your card. The healing. The breath after the healing. I'm going to say I won that round because I said it first.
You did. I got to put holding back so much.
Okay. I have not looked at the card yet. We're going to look at it together. Okay?
All right.
Pachamama. So when coming down to healing, when we're talking about healing and reawakening, I think that this one, it just immediately reminds me, I keep seeing feet. I have a vision of feet pounding the earth, dancing. Like this is that I am the woman and I'm going to dance and be wild and scream and I'm going to be crazy because this is your wild nature coming out, and your wild nature longs to come out, especially when she's wounded. But when she's healing, she's comfortable coming out. She's comfortable making that dance. She's comfortable creating harmony and right relation with the earth. And how we do that is through dancing with the earth cycles. It's through leaning into the chaos that we see in nature, transmuting all of those energies. So I'm feeling a little wildness with Patching.
You went to the feet, which was interesting because the first thing I saw was simultaneously the roots of the tree, like deep down, but also like the branches, like just coming up, the leaves, like, you know, blooming, flowering, whatever, just like the expansion. But it was both, you know, the deeper the roots, the taller the tree. And I was just like seeing it grow and go through its cycles. And then whatever you had said, it was like seasonal or cycles or something. I was like, it was playing out in my head with this tree. I'm like, yes.
Beautiful. Thanks for coming to visit us, Pension Mama. All right, your turn.
Hello. All right. Collaborative dreaming. I immediately see like literally collaboration, like everybody working together. I guess my brain is in nature now because I feel that tree, but I see like the mycelium, the network under the ground where all the roots are connected and all the trees are working together, and just the harmony of all of nature, you know, and that reflects in us and working together and making those dreams come true. It's got like the third eye and heart space, and like everything just cycling and connecting. So our roots and our crown and everything coming in and coming out through the heart. I don't know. I just see this huge like vortex of energy with different pieces of the web all coming together and being connected.
What a beautiful message. It was called collaborative what?
Collaborative dreaming.
Collaborative dreaming. When I saw the card, I heard the words "I love you."
Okay.
And it just felt like a connection. It felt like each person we all have our individual goals and our individual dreams, but it felt like in living your own personal fulfillment, it places you into that heart space where you're able to connect with everybody else because you see everything from the eyes of love. And you can see the person as a whole. And this actually does go hand in hand with the mycelium and the networks and all of those things, is the heart connection from person to person to person. Because when I'm living my dream, that means that my dream is in line with your dream, and that your dream is in line with your neighbor's dream, and that your neighbor's dream is in line with the dream of humanity. Because overall, all of our dreams serve. They teach us how to love each other at the basis of everything. And when you step into spirituality, you're stepping into how may I be of service, because I know I am one with everybody else here.
Yes.
And through collaborative efforts, I let you win that round.
Oh, you did? Oh, thank you so much.
My turn.
Oh, are you getting serious now? Do I need to?
You ready?
Yeah.
The magic card. Innocence. Innocence is the first word that comes to my mind. I know it says magic, but the first thing that popped into my mind is innocence, inner child, who we were before. And if we think of who we were before, who we were before our parents told us who to be, before society told us who to be, before we reached a space where we were trying to fit in with our friends, and before we reached a space where we were first embarrassed and we were like, oh, I guess I can't do that in public because I'll be weird. You know what I mean? Like before all of that, there's the magic. If we think of children, when they come into this space, they come in with their own personalities, but they also come in without prejudice, without embarrassment. They come in a way that's just so pure. Not pure as in they never do anything that we deem as wrong, but pure as in they're just purely themselves. They hold to their pure magic. And I will venture so far as to say that whatever we deem as wrong that a young child does is not actually wrong. It's just probably unsafe or unacceptable by society. And we're the ones beating it into people how to lose their magic.
Nice.
Your turn.
So the first thing that I heard was imagination.
Mm.
And like seeing all the colors and whatnot, just like from the picture, I saw like dream big. You know, don't dream small, don't think small, dream big. And to me, that felt like, and I guess that kind of plays with what you're saying is, you know, let your imagination run wild. And I could see that inner child, that curiosity, that passion and drive of there are no limits, you know. And then when we place the limits on ourselves, it usually comes from being told, you know, oh, well, maybe you shouldn't do this, or maybe you shouldn't do that, or like what's right or what's wrong. But that's an outside reflection, not your authenticity. What's right for you, what's aligned with you. And the bigger that we dream, the bigger that reflects in our reality. You know, we don't keep ourselves in a container and be small. So just that imagination, you know, what can you do? How far can you go?
I love that that's actually playing out right now in my adulthood, because a lot of you guys might know that I was raised in a very Christian family, which there's nothing wrong with that because I love Jesus. It's more about like the rules around it, because there was a lot of Southern Baptist and, you know, different influences. So like I remember being a young kid and like pretending to hypnotize my cousin, and they're like, oh no, that's of the devil. We don't hypnotize people. We don't use hypnotherapy. And talking to ghosts and spirits were bad. It was the devil. Even though I was like literally as a young child being chased by demons and then like held by angels at night, and I could talk to these things. I could see these things, but it's something that, oh no, that was just a dream. That was just a nightmare. So it's like these were the limits placed around a natural gift of magic. A natural inclination towards speaking to the other side, a natural inclination towards mediumship, a natural inclination towards the healing was all shut down. The healing actually, I want to say, may have been more developed than the communication part on the other side, because we're allowed to have healers, we're allowed to have nurses and doctors, right? And so I actually trained it as a nurse. That was the first thing I went into, because that was encouraged as far as the healing aspect went. Even in my particular church growing up, they had intercessors and they had the people who laid hands on you. So even that was okay. It was more the communication with anything that wasn't specifically, I don't even know, the Holy Spirit, I guess, because even speaking to angels, I think in this particular denomination was something that didn't really happen, you know, so it was more about that. And I'm curious, like what things you were taught or told when you were little that placed you in that container now that you're an adult, you're like, because, you know, now that I'm an adult, I'm doing medium. Holding seances. I am hypnotizing people, you know, like I'm using those gifts now.
Yeah, for sure. You know, when you were talking about that, you know, it made me think of all the gifts that I had that I didn't realize were gifts as a child, you know, that I suppressed them because I was told, you know, oh, you know, like I was scared of the dark because I would see things. I'm like, oh, it's just your imagination. It's not real. I had no idea that I, could see things and interpret things, that they were spirits and guides trying to give me messages and whatnot, and what I could even do with those. So it took years till I was an adult to realize that those things weren't bad and have a different perspective, being raised in such a Christian atmosphere of that particular perspective, because I look at everything that we do now, and people, like you say, they want the healing, they want the guidance, and it's the same, but a different perspective. So when we look at that different perspective, and it's not limiting, it's not small, it's big. And it's that imagination. My imagination wasn't bad. That was the gift all along. So I had to fall into that, dive into that in order to learn and grow.
I like that you used the word imagination, that was the word that came to you. Because whenever I'm leading people in through hypnotherapy or guided journey work or guided meditations, I always tell them, okay, use your imagination to make this real, because your imagination isn't what makes something not real. Your imagination is what makes something real. Because if you can see it, if you can feel it, if you can sense it, then it's real to you. And if it's real to you, then it's real.
Yes.
It's absolutely real. Literally. I think it's that distrust of yourself that we've been taught, that we're like, oh, that's just my imagination.
Right. Well, and it's distrust of self, because we, value and respect in different levels of the people that are telling us that. So then we make ourselves small because, oh, well, so-and-so said, and I value and respect and trust and love them, but that's their perspective. So we can still value and love and trust and respect these people, and also value and love and trust and respect ourselves, and honor that sometimes our perspectives are different, like the agree to disagree, if you will. If we go on if we were to journey right now, right, you might see something completely different than what I'm going to see. That doesn't negate the experience of the journey that both of us had. Yours is just as real as mine. They don't have to be the same. Mm-hmm. We can honor the principle of it. Honor the journey.
Absolutely. And I feel like a lot of the time it's the same message that comes through, just given to us through different clairs, or even different sides of the same message, which you and I tend to do a lot. You and I tend to get opposite messages, but it's really the same message from the exact opposite perspective, so that makes a whole.
Right.
And I will say, I'll have to do better about this. I'm glad we're having this conversation, because my babies, they are always seeing something. They will not walk through a room that is dark. And I have found myself getting to the point where I'm like, it's just dark. I love the dark. The dark is beautiful. It's your mother. Just go through the dark. And they're like, I don't want to go through the dark. Even this morning, Jonah was like, Mom, I saw something in the dark. And I'm like, is the lamp not on? Because I hadn't had my coffee yet. I'm not dressed. I don't want to have to go to the other side of the house so he can have breakfast. His dad's down there. Daddy's down there. Go find him.
Yeah.
It's dark. And I'm like, ugh. There's nothing there. There's nothing bad in our house. There's nothing bad in our house. So I found myself being that person, not because I don't believe it, but because sometimes some spirits just need to go away and let my children walk through the freaking house so I can drink my coffee. That's just how I feel about it.
Well, but that's where we just remind them that they have the power, they have the light, and let them use their imagination. Tell them to pull out their imaginary glowing sword and safely walk through. Nothing can hurt them, blah, blah, blah. Anything that's not good for them can't get through their shield, because they're a warrior, I
love that, the self-empowerment of it. And that reminded me yesterday, what was I doing? I don't remember what I was doing. I was in the bathroom doing something, and my 4-year-old was like right outside the bathroom door playing in the hallway. And I peeked around, and he had a $1 bill in his hand. And I was like, what are you doing, honey? He said, I'm playing Fortnite. Don't worry. I was like, okay. And he's like hiding his money around the dark living room. And then I hear him like mumbling to himself, and I look around the corner, and he is this far from the wall, and he's talking to the wall, and he goes, "I will chop your head off." And I was like, "Okay, you tell them, honey. I don't know who that is, but you let it be known."
Yes, I love that.
All right, empowerment. I think it is your turn to pull a card.
Oh, is it? Okay, cool. Let's do this.
Magic, and I think that's the one that led us down this rabbit hole of beauty.
I like rabbit holes. Okay, I hear you. That one just wants to go through the camera. Free from judgment, free to love.
That looks like, what is her name? Gamora?
Gamora?
Yeah, from the...
Which way you want to go with that? Where we want to go?
What movie is this?
Where are you going? You going Gamora?
Yes.
Guardians of the Galaxy?
Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It looks like Gamora. And I don't know the message there yet. So if you get something, then you still have the opportunity to win the round. I just saw Gamora.
Well, you said Gamora, and I was like thinking Elphaba, but just the whole thing, the words, even freedom from judgment, freedom to love. You know, I guess both of those people, you know, they look different, but like they both embody honor and integrity, and they're misunderstood and things like that as far as their story. But it fits this message to me. It's like when you're grounded and you're stable and you love yourself, whatever judgments are out there, because there will be some, you don't take them on. You are free from the judgment, and you are free to love. And it just, when you are free to love, you already have that love within yourself. You're already fulfilled to that level. So your cup is full and it's running over, and you can pour the extra out. You know, it's just, I don't know. It's a freedom and a stability and a fulfillment. That's what I got.
I love your answer. I'm still not sure where mine's going. I don't know.
Follow the rabbit hole.
What did you think of
Gamora?
I like that you went Wicked.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I like that you went Wicked because I love the political undertones of that. But I went Guardians of the Galaxy. And with Gamora there, it's more of a vision and a feeling, the way that particular message came through, and my mind's trying to interpret it, which I don't know how, besides its feeling. And it's just this green person, and green is that heart space, guys, right? It's just this green person, and there's open space, and she can go anywhere she wants to. It's a feeling of expansion, a feeling of freedom, which I feel like when we are in love in our bodies, that's what we are. We're free. We're free to grow. We're free to expand. We're free to move forward. We're free to progress. We're free to fulfillment. We're free to destiny. There are other things above the heart space, but I put so much emphasis on the heart because that's like the portal, the opening to everything else. And honestly, her personality in that movie wasn't great. She kind of was like, mer, mer, mer. Which I love. She's a real tough gal. I love a good tough.
But she was wounded. That's the whole thing. That's the beauty. Oh, look, you know me and Marvel, okay? I love me some Marvel movies. Like she was taken in by Thanos, you know, and so she had this distorted idea of what love was, and he created her to be this fierce warrior. Like he saw that fire in her, and she had to fight all these battles and do all these things that she probably wouldn't necessarily have wanted to do, you know. And then her relationship with her sister and this and that, and like through the whole timeline. If you haven't seen the movies, go watch them, whatever. But she loved deeply. And when she had this freedom to choose, that's what she chose. Mm-hmm. And I am not all about spoilers. So again, just go watch it. But when she finally found her freedom, she gave it all to love.
You should do this more. You should just talk about movies from a metaphysical point of view, because that was really good.
Okay, great.
My brother sent me a little clip from that movie the other day and said, "This is how I talk to my sister." And maybe you'll know these people. You know the little alien lady?
Yep.
Okay.
I can't remember her name, but yes.
So she was sitting there talking to the big red dude who was like a wrestler.
Drax?
Yes, Drax. And you know, Drax, he has this way of speaking from his planet that's very completely honest, with like no filter, no sugar, nothing. And she's like, she's a little alien self. So isn't she like sensitive? Like she gets emotion or something?
Yeah, she can sense emotions, but she can also make people feel certain emotions.
Okay, so my brother sent me this and said that this is how he talks to me. The little alien went, "I'm hideous?" And he said, "You are very hideous, but that's good, because when people love you, you know that they really love you."
I know that scene that you're talking about.
Yes. So thanks, bro, number one. But number two, more about love in that movie that's being shared is because she's so sensitive to emotion, but realizing for the first time, maybe love isn't about the surface things. Maybe love is about something bigger, something deeper, something more expansive and connecting.
Yes.
I just wanted to throw my brother under the bus. He said I'm hideous.
Beep, beep.
Ready? Sorry, my deck tried to run away.
Well, mine's trying to throw cards through the camera. Yours is running away.
You ready?
Yeah.
The spiral, the great spiral. I'm spiraling into the earth, rabbit holes.
You say rabbit hole, and the first thing I think is centered.
Okay.
Being centered and that home space. Because the spiral never ends. It keeps going. Like I go up because I want to spiral up, up to that expansiveness. But when you stay centered and you stay home and you stay in alignment, you don't spiral out of control. You don't get lost in it. And we've talked before, I love that metaphor of the hurricane, but the calmest space in that storm is the center. Life keeps moving, life keeps going. The only thing constant is change and finding that center, coming back to the center. If you feel yourself getting out of line, whatever, things are crazy, that's your cue. That's your awareness. Whoa, I need to recenter. And then you can navigate those spirals better and just keep going.
I went a couple of different ways with this in my mind. I think overall it comes back to that love and connection. Because in my vision, I'm seeing that spiral, but I'm seeing like people and animals and plants on the spiral. And so it's a connecting thing. So once again, showing us that we're all one and that we're all connected. But there's multiple ways that we use the spiral. We use the spiral in our one-on-one healing. You can spiral into your emotions and see what's at the bottom there, what that actual trigger is, what that thing is that needs to heal at the very bottom. There's a different kind of spiraling in that comes to me when I'm thinking of the energy fields, because now I see things correlating with the rainbow, with the medicine wheel, with the sacred spiral. This is creation itself. This is the pattern of seashells, the pattern of flowers and all kinds of different things. Like this is creation. Creation is oneness, and it comes from oneness. So it's like in my brain, I'm seeing all these geometric shapes that open and flower and then come back into themselves.
Yes.
I swear if you could see my brain, it's like I'm on acid all the time, which is why I don't get high, because like I'm already there.
I just liked as you were talking, like mine was out here. It was like big, collective, and then yours, like I started seeing like the little individual spirals, like within the whole. And then, whatever card we pulled earlier, I saw like the connections and how the motion of all of it. I don't like it created the whole thing. Like you said creation, I was like, wow. So I could just see the. That was cool.
Right now, we're tied. Your turn.
Dun, dun, dun. I want to move that. Okay, come on, come on. The energy of this deck feels like really excited, and they like all want to come out. Yeah, do that one more time. No? Thank you. All right, what does it say? Oh, shock of the new.
I don't care what it said. As soon as he pulled that card out, I saw snakes. I saw Medusa. I'm over here like, okay, queen, feminine wiles. And I'm back to where I was before about the inner feminine, but not about the inner feminine healing or what comes directly after that. I'm talking about the inner feminine that is fully embodied and empowered.
Yes. That's, yeah, I like that you said that, because that it reminded me of whatever other card, the imagination.
Mm-hmm.
But it was on a whole different vibe. It wasn't the imagination of what can I do or whatnot. It was like, I'm already there. And it was just this solid presence. Yes.
Do you know that when you sit there, you look like Lady Liberty?
Oh, because of this thing?
Yes. And you're talking about, I'm already there. And you have like this crown around your head. But what does the card say? What's the words on the card?
It says shock of the new.
Shock of the new?
Like, wow. Shock of the new. So like
it's on her head. Describe the drawing to me.
So I see like a speaker and like piano keys or keyboard keys, sunflowers. I don't know, like a sense of flow and frequency. But like I just got, like, it says shock of the new, which feels different than the energy that I've got. So maybe this person isn't shocked by the new. Maybe it's the external that is shocked by this presence, this force, this I wanna lay my body down on the earth. Like in all of this being. So like when this energy shows up in its fullness and power, it's just like, whoa. Like it's a shock to see or something to some people, maybe, because it doesn't feel like this part is a shock. Like here, it's maybe here. So I don't know. I didn't resonate with the words at all. I only resonated with the picture. Maybe that's the sense of expression that people aren't used to receiving that or seeing that or don't expect it even. But
I like where that's going, because when I look at it from here, it looks like seashells, and I'm imagining those snakes, and we just talked about the spiral and all that kind of stuff. So it is her in her fully empowered state. I know who I am. This is my power. But then looking into what's exactly there, there's sunflowers, which is beauty, which is joy, which is brightness. It's shining the light. And then on the other side are all of those expressive things that create vibration. And that's what it is. It's vibration. So it's creating that vibration on the earth. It's creating change. It's sending those waves out. And there's something that was coming to my mind. Okay, so like, 10 Things I Hate About You, that movie is now out on Netflix, right?
Okay.
That was, when I was a young teenager, one of my favorite movies. because that, you know, being raised the way that I was raised by my father, all that kind of stuff, that was the first time I was introduced to feminism, was in that movie with that particular main character, right? And I loved her. I was like, you know what? I want to like punch boys in the balls and read the bell jar too, you know? And I did. And so like this is the start of the feminine rebellion, right? Okay, we're like 40 now. And so I'm watching this movie again, and me and my husband were watching it, and I look at him at one point and he looks at me and I said, this movie did not age well. Like, looking back at it now that I am that fully empowered, that fully embodied feminine that I want to be, looking back at the old perspective, I'm like, this is actually incredibly sexist. I don't like this movie at all. But it's because it was from a perspective where everything was so polarized and they were trying to create ripples to bring people together. They were trying to show how people shouldn't be appropriated and women shouldn't be taken advantage of. But it was from this immature perspective before the change happened. But now that society is here, it's like, whoa.
Right.
Thought that was a good movie because we're at a completely different perspective now where we know those things aren't right, where we're way past that. And it took all that time to get to that space, because I don't think I've seen that movie in 20 something years, 20, 25 years. I don't know. It's been a while, guys.
Yeah, that's an interesting perspective though. I like that, you know. I feel like that explains or whatever, shines a light on the shock of the new part. You know, because you can't see it till you get there. Only hindsight is 2020.
Mm.
So
yeah. So when you're speaking something new, when someone sees you in a fully embodied state, a fully empowered state, and they're not there, they haven't seen what that looks like in themselves yet, they're going to be like, whoa, who is this person?
Right.
Medusa, why are there snakes in her hair? This is crazy. Put on a bra. You know what I mean? And then like, they'll get it one day though. But somebody has to step up and be that to give everybody else permission to be that too.
Yes. Yes.
You ready?
Ready.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay. The sorcerer. Ethics in your fully empowered state, but shadow work. Shadow work. There's an important term here. Shadow work. Because you are not fully empowered just because you step into your power. Because if you're still wrestling with your shadows and the things that make you special, the things that give you worth, then you're always actually grasping for power and then feeding on power and saying that that's the thing that makes you empowered, when it's not. The thing that makes you empowered is healing through all of those things, loving yourself, understanding your worth and your value, regardless of anything on the outside, until you are just in that fully loving, open, empowered, expansive state. So the sorcerer is that person who grasps for power with a trigger still in place.
I love that, because I feel like for that card to come out right after the other one, like what I heard like with that card is check yourself.
Oh.
Well,
before you wreck yourself.
I mean, because you get into this space, right? And I was talking about embodying power, you know, and yes, if you have things in your shadow where you feel triggered or whatnot, that, because okay, at the end of this card, and you said, you know, that people want to understand if they're not there. They won't understand the level and whatnot of the energy that you embody. If you have anything left in that shadow, or tempted to retreat back and be small because you're not understood, that is that shadow work that you just pulled. Like that is, you know, where you would check that, you know, like, okay, is there anything there? Yes. Cool. Let's work on it. Is there any? No, it's just a human thought expectation, but I've worked through that. I'm good. but it's that like checks and balances so that you have that harmony, because you can't have light without shadow. You can't have shadow without light, you know, like the yin and yang. It's always going to be there, but it's staying humble and being honest and like integritous with yourself. And I don't know, I saw those as like checks and balances.
Absolutely. And that's not to say, because I really hate this. You know, there's from time to time, not to throw my man under the bus because he's the best thing in the entire planet. Every now and then he'll be like, "You're great." And I'll be like, "I know." And he's like, "But humble." And that's not needed, right? That part's not needed. Absolutely not. If you know I'm great and I know I'm great, why do I have to be humble? First off, okay? Not needed. So to me, checks and balances isn't making sure other people aren't offended by your light.
Right. Right.
I'm sorry if you're offended by my light, but I'm not. You know what I mean? Like, I'm sorry that your light isn't shining as bright as mine. That's what I'm actually sorry about. So but Leo, right? Okay, so by checks and balances, this is absolutely like making sure that when you step out, you're not stepping out in a triggered space.
Yeah.
And if you're not in a triggered space, then however wonderful you feel, you just get to feel that wonderful, because I'm not triggered about anything. I'm happy, I'm loving, I'm excited, I'm joyful, I'm in the flow of life. And that is true power. That's what empowerment is. Yes.
Yes. I really like that you reiterated that. Yes. Because all of the checks and balances are internal. Yes. I like that. I'm really, really glad you said that. That's great.
Threw him momentarily under the bus.
No, not that part.
Look, it's hard being my partner. I get it. I get it. Okay. Is it your turn?
Yes. Okay. After the storm. Again, the energy that I felt from the card like didn't match whatever. So I was like, I guess I get caught by geometric shapes and I dive into them. So I was like in a whole journey because of this little thing right here. I don't know how
What is that?
you can see it. It looks like a giant pyramid of pyramids. Like the whole kit and caboodle.
Is it a Merkaba? It's hard to see.
Not really. That's where my mind went. But I guess imagine like if you had a bunch of them, like one inside of another, inside of another, inside of another, inside of another, like different dimensions. So that's why when I dove into that, it was like, whoom, 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 whoom. So I was trying not to get lost in the rabbit hole that this was taking me down, while the whole image is of this owl carrying that. And that, I guess that in itself represents like that higher dimension, that higher awareness of the different pieces in it. I don't want to lose you, but like the observer observing the observer observing.
Oh, girlfriend, I'm having a panic attack now.
That's where it went. But I don't know. It's like bigger, upper level perspective of having the higher truth of your higher self, of spirit, universal knowledge, wisdom, and acceptance, and then honoring it, and almost carrying those concepts like with you as you're going through your journey.
I got the opposite of that message, as you do. So you're up here looking down on this, and I'm here looking up at this.
Okay.
So after the storm, you know, like when I looked at that card, I didn't even see any of that. I just felt a sense of stillness, quiet, peace. Everything's done. Everything's been done. Everything's been planned. Everything's complete. And it's just here, just this present moment. Nothing else is happening. It was a complete stillness, a complete quiet, a complete sense of peace. And so that's what the storms do in life from this level, not up here, 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 here. It's like these are all watching and planning. But when we're down here, the storm comes in to remove everything that's old, everything that's stagnant, everything that we're holding on to that we're too afraid to let go because we don't know what's going to be left after the storm leaves. We don't know what's going to happen when our home is taken away by the storm or, whatever it is. But then when it's all gone, when the storm's done, we realize that there's a peace that surpasses our understanding. And so I'm getting this little nugget from your higher perspective of it.
And I like that because I literally feel like that's the same thing in different words. You break it down. It's so beautifully and eloquently. And mine's just like the observer observing the observer and just honoring it and accepting it. But yes, it's like that piece, that hindsight. When I talk about the observing, you only have that hindsight after the storm, so I'm looking at it from up here and you're looking at it from down here. The only difference I guess I saw was that the peace and understanding and acceptance while still in motion, and yours was more just like calm and in the moment. So.
And I pulled a card earlier that was face down, but I accidentally looked at it. So I wasn't using it for this. I just kind of left it on the side because I accidentally flipped it and looked. But I feel like it kind of goes hand in hand with that. It's that completion card.
Ooh.
And when we see this is obviously cycles. There's no endings. Every ending is just another beginning. That's why the snake is eating his tail, because it just keeps going. And for some reason, I feel like this is the same message, that the storm comes through, and that's not just the ending of everything that was. That's the peace and the freshness of our new beginning. And it's just what we make of it and how we build on it that creates the next part of our journey, because the journey never ends.
Yes. I love that. I love it all.
So I'm up by 1. Do you feel like you want to pull one more or be done? You think you can tie me?
I don't need to tie you to know that I could take you.
Look, you guys out there have never seen me climb this woman like a tree.
This is true.
What is that video where I flipped you over my shoulder? I think I would like to refer back to it.
Oh my God. The Art of War, I think you called it.
Go back on our videos to the Art of War towards the end of the video where she's trying to show me some moves and I flip her over my freaking shoulder.
It feels like lifetimes ago. But yes, you did. I had no idea that was coming. I remember. I will never, ever forget getting up off the floor after that one.
In my defense, I did say stand there and be still.
You did. And that trust, I was like, okay, cool. And halfway through the air, I'm like, I just let her do this. It's just like that realization of, oh, this is happening.
Persuasion. The siren song, stand there. Everything will be fine once you are flipped. You will have a brand new beginning.
Yeah, that was great though.
Last card. Wild woman. This is everything we are talking about. And what
that is all of it. I feel like that is the epiphany of the end of the cycle. Like when you have gotten there and you're fully embodied and everything is nicely blended and harmonized, like that is the energy that I get from the wild woman. Wild, stable, grounded.
What I really love about her is that her heart space is kind of like this turquoise color, and they made sure that the heart space is very open, and all of nature is her crown. She's wearing a crown of wildflowers and weeds and twigs and stems, and even her action in the card, it appears as if she's dancing or moving with the wind. She's open. She's not in those little containers like you were talking about earlier. She's free. So a lot of this just has to do with freedom. Freedom of love. What was that card? The freedom of love card.
The free from judgment, free to love.
Alphaba. Let those green women come out and play.
I like all of this. All of it.
We've done a great job. I'm excited about these messages, and they seem to have a common core, the freedom of love. Mm-hmm. I like it a lot. So who won?
I don't know. I'm having fun. Whatever. What's our score, Miss Tallying over there?
I'm still going to say I'm up by 1.
All right. I guess you got me.
I guess you got me. You win. But you know what this means? Since you won last round and I won this round, there needs to be a tiebreaker.
All right.
Should we have a dance contest?
No, you would win that. I know my limits. I can move, but I can't necessarily dance.
I'm just kidding, guys. But I won! I'm so excited! But you did really great. You won in my heart.
Oh, there we go.
In the freedom of my heart space, you won. In my ego head space, I won, and it's my turn to win, so I think that's okay.
My turn to win. It is okay. It is. It is.
All of that's okay to do. Well, what do you have going on? I hope you guys all got amazing messages from all of this and that a lot of it resonated. Aaron, what do you have going on these days? We know we're doing the lab group and your private sessions. When's the next? And the lab group is usually like the first Sunday of every month, usually. Do you have any other workshops, classes, anything going on that you're putting together?
I've posted a mini workshop for divination tools that covers pendulum, tarot cards, oracle cards. So if you're interested in getting started to use those tools in your mediumship practices, that's something that's posted under the courses on our website. But other than that, right now, I'm just focused on my sessions and the lab groups and those things.
And we're Wednesdays. If you are a dignitary member on our website, is that the first and third Wednesday of every month?
Yes, first and third.
All right, everybody. We love you so much. Thank you for coming.
Bye, everybody. Thank you.
Bye.